Welcome to Running Down the Clock, where we break down all of this week's big news, events, and controversies from the National Football League. Over the next 45 minutes, we will give you basic fan perspective and opinion on the most important stories and moments happening now. So, let's start the clock. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Running Down the Clock. I am Tyler Walzak. I'm here with Puya. Puya, where are you going for dinner tonight? Why are we doing this so early?
Just meeting a friend for dinner. He needs to use me for the carpool lane, and he's offered to buy me dinner after that.
Is that true? Is that actually true? He just needs to use it.
Yeah,
he needs to use the carpool lane going into town.
Going out to the suburbs, then headed back. But it's kind of at a rush hour type time, so that little bit helps.
What's his rush? Why does he need to have?
People are in a rush, man. I don't like to sit in traffic. Do you like to sit in traffic? If there's no football game on, I can't watch the football game and sit in traffic. You know.
Yeah, but
I did it last night.
Not really. If he needs to
watch the game driving,
so he's specifically just not wanting to be in traffic. So he's willing to. But you're also waiting at a restaurant until traffic ends. Then he won't need you.
No. That's after the dinner's after the whole.
But isn't dinner downtown?
Yeah, so it'll be on the way back.
So the rush hour traffic on the way home.
No. Picks me up, heads out to the valley, heads back into like our side of town, and then dinner.
So you're going outside of, you're going further out.
Yeah, there's no HOV lanes within the city of Vancouver.
No, that's why I thought you were going in and out of Vancouver. You're not in Vancouver.
No.
Yeah, so I thought you were going
further
in
east, Eastern Canada, coming back.
Wow. Okay, now it makes more sense to me.
Yeah,
I can't believe someone likes you that much to want to have dinner with you just to use you for a carpool lane.
Well, it also could be a little more insulting as if the best thing you're used for is a dummy to sit in a passenger seat and just be an extra occupant so I can use the carpool lane. You're basically a pylon, a human pylon. That is what your value is.
Well, you know, wear orange?
I guess I could wear the safety vest.
Yeah, there you go. Wear a safety vest.
Hard hat?
Yeah. Might as well.
COVID mask? Just go full on?
Well, I hope the dinner's good. Well, I thought maybe someone was taking you out for like a nice holiday dinner.
Oh, what holidays do I celebrate?
You don't celebrate any, but the holiday season. You could celebrate the holiday season.
It is a holiday season. Actually, I got some good plans for this Thanksgiving Day. We got
you're going
two buddies up at the cabin, and we call them cabins. Some of the Eastern people might call them cottages, or
I get shit all the time for calling a cabin.
Well, that's the West Coast name. I got my West Coast name.
I've inherited the West Coast community, and I call it a cabin.
You got to accept it. So sit there, eat all day, and watch football.
You guys doing a turkey?
I believe there is a turkey. I've been told that everything's being looked after in terms of food, even though I think I'm a pretty good culinary master in the kitchen. I can hold my own.
I think you are too. I will say you can hold your own.
But they told me no need. Everything's being looked after. So. And
you guys are going to wake up at 9:30 and watch me Lions play.
Well, yeah, that's the game I'm looking most forward to. I love watching the Packers lose.
I do. Now you're speaking my language, and all Lions fans are right. This is, I will say, holiday seasons. This week is the beginning of my holiday season until January 2nd. Waking up Monday this week felt so goddamn good after that comeback win on Sunday that I was like, okay, now we wake up. I got 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Well, actually, we had a great Monday night game with the Chiefs and the Eagles. That was a rematch of the Super Bowl, maybe a preview of the Super Bowl. So basically Tuesday, Wednesday is all I got to get through. And then I'm waking up 7:30 to walk the dog Thursday morning. And then I'm sitting down and I'm watching Lions football like I do every American Thanksgiving. And I'm so excited. Then we got the Friday game now too.
You touched on so many things we're going to talk about today. Where do you want to start?
Well, let's start with...
You hit my whole list here.
Let's start with... I'm going to start with something I didn't just touch on. And that's, we got news to cover. One, just some quick player things. Darrell Henderson, the running back from the Rams, who just won the game for them against the Seahawks by scoring a touchdown, been released by the Rams today. They're expecting Kyren Williams back. Odd move considering, I don't know, why not just keep him for another week? Like, he knows the system and he's playing well.
Well, who else do they have a running back right now? Remind me, because I feel like they've
been leaning on him. They've been leaning on him, but like Kyren, their guy that they gave it to once they got rid of Cam Akers,
he was there for a short period though, wasn't he?
He got hurt, but he's back.
Yeah, he got hurt right away.
But he's back this weekend. But that being said, like, who's to say that he doesn't have a minor setback in the game and you go right back to Henderson? Like, it's a strange released to me.
Well, who's the RB2 then? That's my question. We got a depth chart out here.
We got to here. I'll just go back to last week's stats over here on my computer. We use this stuff to get there quickly because we don't have anyone that wants to help us out on this program here. Okay, Rams recap news. None of that stuff's working for me. Let's go to ESPN. They're usually better at it. Your Seahawks kind of blew this game too, by the way, while I looked this up.
They did.
Missed a kick at the end there. He doesn't miss many kicks. They kind of jinxed him.
It was try. I thought they had it in the bag. That was actually my off pick for this past week too. I thought the Seahawks had it, but I'm looking forward to them this week against the 49ers. I think that could be actually a much tighter game.
Thursday night game. Another Thanksgiving Thursday night game.
Thursday night finale. But after this week's performance by the 49ers, I think they're coming in pretty hot right now.
Yeah, they're hitting their peak right at the right time. Okay, so here's who ran the ball for the Rams this weekend. Royce Freeman had 17 carries, 73 yards. And then Darrell Henderson had 6 carries for 1 yard, but he also got a touchdown. So they use him in the goal line situations. So maybe they can go. He caught 4 passes, 28 yards. It's just a weird, there must be some other guy that you can get rid of in order to bring Kyren Williams back into the lineup. Like Cooper Kupp. You could take him out and put him on IR and bring Kyren Williams back. Cooper got hurt. Who's to say he's going to be back? It's just, I find it strange. But anyways, let's move on to Darius Leonard of the Colts, linebacker. I think he's like 6-time Pro Bowl, maybe like 3-time All-Pro. Got a big contract, and then he's kind of sucked since then. Released by the Colts in a surprise move. But more importantly, Matt Canada, offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers, had a terrible game against the Browns, has been fired.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
People have been asking for it. We saw in Las Vegas, the fans were demanding the coach fired, screaming at the owner, arguing with the owner of the game. And at some point when it's not working, I know that they want to trust the process and all that stuff, that nonsense. But at one point when you're not playing for anything, although the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing for something, you got to kind of listen to your fans and just appease them a little bit, right? Because what you're doing isn't working. They're they had the worst offense. It's not exciting.
Kenny Pickett has, I think, one game his entire
career. He's got,
career.
5 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns on the season?
He's had one game his entire career, which is in his second season now, where he's had multiple thrown touchdowns. Only one game. I think he's only got 5 touchdowns in the last, who's the guy that got hurt from Anthony Richardson from the Colts, who hasn't played in about a month, still has more throwing touchdowns than he does.
Yeah. It's not an exciting offense, and your receiver's getting upset.
Yeah. George Pickens is not happy. Even the running back, Najee Harris, he wasn't happy in the post-game press conferences. They needed to change something. They changed something. The question is now, how much time does this buy Kenny Pickett? Because everyone was blaming, but everyone was blaming Matt Canada for the reason Kenny Pickett sucked. What if Kenny Pickett just sucks? He's going to be exposed in the next 3 games. He either comes out and plays a little bit better, throws more touchdowns, lets loose a little bit, or he just shows more of the exact same of the skill set that he's been showing. And then he goes.
Well, you got to give him 3 games, I guess.
I mean, I think you have to give him the rest of the season. They're only 2 games back of Baltimore. They're 6-4. They're still in a playoff spot.
Division going to open up?
Once they start beating the shit out of each other, really. The Steelers are still in a playoff spot, so I don't know. I don't know. They're gonna. It's good that they fired him though, because they were chanting outside of.
So they got Cincinnati this week.
Yeah,
they're game up on them. What's Cincinnati got to do? Burrows is done for the season.
Yeah, you sent me Did you end up doing that trade that you're going to do in fantasy? Jonathan Taylor to you for Jamar Chase?
Not yet, but I probably will.
Why haven't you done it yet? We talked about it hours ago.
I'm afraid.
What are you afraid of?
That I get the worst end of the trade.
Why would you, right now, though, on paper, why would you get the worst end of the trade?
Because we don't know what's going to happen with Jamar Chase. What if he goes off every week because he's the only guy doing anything? They start losing every game, but he's just racking up the points, being the only guy out there.
I mean, that's the risk you're going to take. Your floor is higher with Jonathan Taylor. He's also on par with the talent that Jamar Chase is. I don't see why you wouldn't, as soon as the guy sent that trade, press accept.
Why I have to consult with you?
Yeah, and I said do it.
Fair enough.
So do it.
Fine, I'll do it. I'll do it after this.
Do it right now. Do it right now on air. We want a live trade on air.
Okay, done.
We're in the war room.
Done. I accept it.
So who's next to get fired then? Bruce Staley, right?
Brandon Staley?
Brandon Staley.
He was visibly short-tempered in the press conference. It doesn't seem like that's the kind of guy who's in a comfortable position. That was a winnable game, which they kind of fumbled there.
You know who bumbled it? Quentin Johnson, when he had a wide open with a minute left, wide open in front of him. Herbert hits him in the hands and he drops it. It was a touchdown and he dropped it. Was that a worse, like that actually could get Staley fired. That drop pass could be the end of Staley's coaching career, head coaching career in the NFL.
They're somehow
first round draft pick.
Somehow, as of today, the Chargers are last in their division.
Yeah. The Broncos really turned it around though, didn't they?
So I got a question for you about the Broncos there. What's the change? Is Russell Wilson playing better? Is Sean Payton, is his coaching finally getting through?
Both.
Or can they thank the Dolphins? Are the Dolphins directly responsible for this?
For blowing him out, for killing him?
For blowing them out to the point when like you got to hit rock bottom sometimes to start going up again.
I think all three of those things. So because you said that, I think Peyton and Russell are finally starting to trust each other. Some of those throws, Russell was just throwing it up to Courtland Sutton and just being like, I need you to make a play, which is what he did sometimes in Seattle as well. But I will say that those two being together works. It's the Miami Dolphins side of it could be, they beat the shit out of them and their defense finally said, we need to play better. And they're playing better football now. That defense is starting to come alive.
They are currently holding the best winning streak in the NFL.
Yeah, five games, I think. Like that. Yeah. So they were 0-5 and now they're 5-5.
Something like that. Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, no, I think they got to have one more game than that played.
That's insane. There's no way. Is that true? They're 4-game win streak right now.
Yeah, they're 5-5. You're right.
So they're 1-5 and now they're 5-5.
Okay.
That's still, hey, they're 1 game back of a playoff spot.
They were a laughing stock.
Yeah, we were laughing at them.
Yeah.
But now they're 1 game back of a playoff spot. Think they made the playoffs this year?
I want to say no, but it's looking like possible, but I'm still going to stand firm with my beliefs. And no, I don't think they will. I think they miss out.
Well, it all depends. Like if the Steelers are 6-4 in the last wild card spot, Buffalo Bills 6-5, Colts 5-5, Broncos 5-5, Bengals 5-5. Bengals are probably going to drop off without Joe Burrow. I don't see how they continue to succeed. I think this is a lost season for them.
Yeah, somehow, I know you picked them to wipe off the face of the earth, but the Browns are still looking threatening every week. They're still a threat every week.
The defense is so good.
They're sitting on a 7-3 record, and they got Denver this week in Denver.
Is it Browns Denver?
Yeah, and I'm taking them this week.
Oh, one of your picks?
They're one of my picks. Oh yeah.
When is that game being played?
That is a Sunday 1 p.m. Pacific time game.
I like that game. That's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
And then we got Eagles and Bills on at the same time. Man, they got to get rid of that Raiders Chargers night game and make it the Broncos Browns. Actually, Broncos have had 2 night games in a row now.
To be fair, the Raiders and Chargers games are usually pretty good. They play well.
Raiders and Chiefs games.
You said Raiders and Chargers, but you're right. It is Raiders and Chiefs, and no, those games aren't as good.
But well, still, like any in-division game.
Let's talk about the Chiefs for a second. They got the most drops out of any team. This doesn't look like a team that's going to be that successful in the playoffs.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be concerned about. They're still a good team, but they got to fix something. They have to fix something to go the distance.
Their wide receivers, that was such a bad drop pass.
They're costing them games every week.
That even Travis Kelce did not have a great game last night.
No.
Like he fumbled in the red zone, turnover, gave the ball back to the Eagles. And then I know he made up for it to like the next 2 plays, but he had a very bad drop pass on 3rd down with like 2 minutes left. He then caught the 4th down pass and the 1st down pass after that. But that 3rd down pass, I was like, geez, he's like 5 catches for 25 yards, a fumble and a bad drop. I was like, this is not a Travis Kelce type of game. They are so in trouble if they don't have a guy like that. I know it's a tough pass to catch when you're running full speed like that, but that hit you in the hands. You have to catch that. That is your job to catch that ball.
Even if it's a hard pass, the fact that you're in that position, you've set yourself up for that play. So you have to make that play.
Yeah.
I understand if that was just a hopeful play to, run the score up, but
also, what's the point?
That's the position you're in. And those are the positions you're going to be in to win in the playoffs. You have to make those plays to win in the playoffs.
What's the point of being that fast if you can't catch the ball when it's thrown to your hands?
I guess you're hoping to catch earlier and burn him with your speed, round the guy, make him come out of that angle. But
this is the type of leader that Mahomes is, though. After the game, when they said, like, what can you do differently for Valdes-Scantling? Like, should he have caught that ball? And Mahomes was just like, I probably could have put it a little bit closer into his body, maybe. Like, good for him. That was a perfect pass. You have to catch that. It was worse.
I completely get it. There's no point in throwing your receivers under the bus at that point because everybody knows the situation. You don't need to make things worse. He's Patrick Mahomes. He's not under any scrutiny the same way, right? Like, he is the face of the league. He's the golden child. People know he's good. So, yeah, he can bear the brunt of the weight.
Yeah.
Take the blame.
I agree. Like, but
not a big deal.
What was the worst drop pass? That one or did you see the Chargers drop pass at the end of the game?
Yeah.
Which one was worse?
I think the Chargers one was more makeable.
Okay.
But given the circumstance, especially the psychological win over the Eagles there, that could be the Eagles are looking like they're going to the Super Bowl again.
Yes.
Best record in the NFL, playing great on both sides of the ball. So I think that might have more of an impact. The Chargers don't look like they're going to go anywhere.
Well, especially after that game, I would argue that the Chargers drop pass was worse because it effectively ended their season. You know what I mean?
Right.
So here's some names. I'm going to throw some names out to you because clearly the Chiefs have a wide receiver problem, right? Here are some guys that maybe they pick up. We got Kenny Golladay. You think they could just bring him in and see, like, hey, maybe he can do something? He did have 3 great years with the Lions. Maybe he wants to change his career around and the incentive around like trying to rebuild his reputation. Maybe
the other guy they brought in from the Giants, former Giant, he had a good first season and then he dropped off this year.
Yeah. What about T.Y. Hilton? Remember T.Y. Hilton?
I do.
He's available.
I feel like he's a bit more weathered, is he not? Like, he had a lot of seasons.
Sure, but I mean, what do you got to lose?
Nothing, but I don't know if he has the speed and explosiveness anymore, does he?
I don't know. I haven't seen him play in a while. But
he did play last year.
Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, that one's a bit odd. I think he is a little bit more reliable. I don't know if he's going to be a big play guy, but he seems a little more reliable than some of those guys from the last time I saw him play. But
you think that they'd go out and at least like talk to him, right? You got to bring somebody. You have to bring somebody in. This is a problem. They have not scored a touchdown in the second half of the game since October 22nd. That offense has not scored a touchdown in the second half of any NFL game since October 22nd.
And they are the Chiefs. They're the defending champs. They are arguably the top team in the league in terms of kind of recognition and, status and all that. Other teams are going to bring their best to try and knock them off, right? There's a little more incentive every time you play them to try and beat Mahomes, the best player in the league.
1,000%.
Yeah. So their games aren't going to get easier.
No. And then one last name, Sammy Watkins. He has played for them before, I believe. Has he not? Like, they could.
He has, yeah.
Know the system. Like, you cannot. Would it not be crazy to move forward the rest of the year without trying something else?
I think it would be.
You have to take a flyer on somebody at this point. Like, you can't just sit there. You can't. I would lose my mind if I was a Chiefs fan. I'm like, we need to bring somebody in, and they didn't do it. I would lose my ever-loving mind.
Yeah.
Do you think that Mark Andrews being out for the season kind of puts a damper on Baltimore's season?
Yes and no. I think that's been Jackson's number one guy for his tenure at the Ravens. So he's probably the most comfortable with him. He probably knows him the best as a player in and out. Their relationship with each other on the field is probably the closest. But they do have some options at receiver.
Yeah, their receiving core is actually not bad. Rashad
It's
Bateman,
not bad. It's
Zay
maybe
Flowers,
a little bit up and down, lack
Odell.
consistency, but they have guys that can make the play. So it might just open up more, diversity to try and make the plays for other guys. Now that could do great sometimes. It might lead to some more turnovers because they just don't have the same chemistry. But I don't think it gives them a lack of options in plays they can run to try and get to passes to the receivers.
Yeah, I mean, they also have this kid named Isaiah Likely, who they were very high on in the NFL draft a couple years ago. Hasn't really panned out yet, but they talk very highly about his skill catching the ball. He's not like Mark Andrews is the guy in Baltimore. Like he is very much a Travis Kelce type player in that system. But I mean, Odell Beckham, over 100 yards last on Sunday. Zay Flowers, 43 yards. Aguilar had a touchdown. Like
Yeah, the Aguilar one is a good heads up play, but he wasn't the intended target on that, right?
No, but it's a good, like, he's making plays.
Yeah.
You got guys out there making plays. So hopefully I very much want to see the Baltimore Ravens do well in the playoffs this year. I want Lamar Jackson to win a Super Bowl, but I like not at the cost of my team. Like if the Lions win the Super Bowl, I obviously don't give a shit about Lamar Jackson. But like it'd be nice to see if you had to pick an AFC team and a good story, Lamar Jackson would be that story.
Yeah.
Constantly counted out, and he just loses his best, most consistent guy. It kind of sucks. It's not great. It's not great. Burrow's done for the season. We both think the Bengals are done.
So going back to the Mark Andrews thing,
right.
The guy who got him, Logan Wilson, there's a lot of talk that he was a bit of a dirty player. Like he put some big hits on a few guys that game.
Yeah. Didn't he get suspended just recently?
Did he?
There's
not
a guy
from this game, but
there's a guy that the players seem to be defending Logan Wilson. Oh, it's the hip drop tackle. That's what we're talking about. This new tackle that they're trying to get banned from the NFL.
Yeah, you kind of drop your weight on the guy afterwards as you roll over him.
Yeah, which I mean, at some point, like, how do you even tackle guys anymore? Like, it's getting harder to tackle guys.
It is. Also, the guys seem to get hurt more. I don't know the stats on this, but how many backups are playing right now? Guys who didn't start the season and are only in because of injury, not because of poor play.
Yeah, it
seems like a lot,
especially quarterbacks. Quarterbacks. There's
a lot of
guys out there where you're just like, who the hell is playing quarterback? The guy I was thinking about that just got suspended, Kareem Jackson, the Broncos guy, 4 hits to the head. 2 of the people he hit had to go into concussion protocol, and dirty hits too. Like he does not understand the new system of hitting people in the NFL. But guys are getting fined more this year. We've talked about this a couple times.
We did. I didn't personally think the Logan Wilson hits were.
No, I agree.
dirty.
I just watched it now. I also don't like. It's just that's how he tackles people. Yeah, guys do get hurt from it, but it's not illegal.
No, I love to see guys playing hard like that.
Yeah,
and they're being punished for it. Guys are getting hurt. Guys are getting hurt offensively. Guys are being fined when they're playing offensively, bumping into
lowering
guys.
their heads.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about this on our last conspiracy. Is the NFL's making more of a point of this so that they can go back to the old ways.
Yeah, but the backup QBs are getting a lot of love right now. The only guy who isn't, we got one guy, Mr. Zach Wilson.
Well, he's a backup QB now, isn't he?
Is he? Well, he started the season as backup, right? He was Plan B.
Yeah.
Is he done? Is that his season?
That's his career.
That's his career. It's over.
How could it not be?
How could he have gone this far?
That's what I mean. Is they've wasted every excuse they could have on this kid. He is the only person to beat the Eagles this year. He's the only quarterback to beat the Eagles this year, which is hilarious. But no, he's done. I don't know how you continue it. They had like a total of like 130 yards. Garrett Wilson, I think, maybe had 3 balls thrown his way, completely shut down. It's ruining Breece Hall. It's Zach Wilson's done. It's over. Once you benched him,
is it 100% his fault, or can you blame other aspects of the offense?
you can blame other like this is the second time. So I realized that Nathaniel Hackett, the offensive coordinator, him and Aaron Rodgers have won games before. Aaron Rodgers won 2 MVPs working in the system with Nathaniel Hackett. Nobody else knows how to run this system.
Yeah,
So,
I think
so
that might be a
Zach
Belichick
Wilson,
system where it's coming out after the fact that perhaps the QB just did all the work.
yeah, like Zach Wilson that's exactly right. He doesn't get it. Russell Wilson couldn't figure it out. And they got rid of Hackett in Denver. Like it might be, but here's the thing. Hackett's not going anywhere because they're bringing back Rodgers next year.
Yeah. December 24th. He's coming back this year.
He's coming back December 2nd.
December 2nd. Well, with the team, right? But
he's coming back with the team November 24th. He wants to be on the field December 2nd. So like this Thursday, he'll be back with the team. He won't play this weekend, maybe not the weekend after, but then he wants to play. But that's only if they're winning. Like if they're not winning, why play? Why rush back if you don't have a chance to make the playoffs?
I agree. Why you're going to risk injury again?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. For what? So that you can ruin the next year too? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, unfortunately, Zach Wilson's done.
I don't even know if it's unfortunately. I think it's sometimes you just got to look at, hey, fortunately, I got the opportunity and it didn't work out.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how he got the opportunity. Like, it came out of BYU, was undersized, just athletic. Like, he had a good character. I just don't. No one actually ever believed it.
Statistically, there's more college teams than there are NFL teams. So you're going to have more quarterbacks having success in college than at the NFL level. Yeah, so guys are going to look good.
Weed those guys out. You're supposed to be able to weed those guys out.
Yeah, sometimes you just have no other options. They didn't pull the trigger at other times, and they got kind of stuck with him.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you watch the Lions game this weekend?
I did. So I got a question for you here.
Okay.
You've watched a lot of Lions games. That's correct?
Yes. Every single
one. You've seen the Lions lose in some heartbreaking fashion.
Yes.
Typically, this win, you could say that the Chicago should have won this game at times.
Chicago should have the entire time. Chicago should have won that game the entire time.
But in heartbreaking fashion for them, somehow at the last little bit, they slipped up and the Lions got a kind of, I don't want to say a miracle win because it wasn't a miracle. They deserved it. They played hard, but a good fortune kind of win, let's say.
A win that usually the Lions are the ones giving up.
They're on the other side of that.
They're on the other side of that.
So in memory, what's the worst way you've ever seen the Lions lose a game that just kind of broke your heart the most? There was the Justin Tucker record-setting field goal. I think it was last year or the year before.
That one hurt.
Yeah. There was an Atlanta one where there was controversial play. They never got to run it again, 10-second runoff. And
that one hurt a lot. I was just going to say that one probably because it was a stupid rule that we had no control over that cost us the game.
Yeah.
That one sucks a lot. The one with Aaron Rodgers when he was with Green Bay and they just threw like a 70-yard.
Yeah, Jordy Nelson?
Like that one sucked.
He just closes his eyes, heave it into the end zone.
The worst game.
Guys standing there. And
the worst game we ever. The one I was in the stadium for it, and I still have the ticket from the stub from this game. I hate it so much. It was against the Minnesota Vikings. I was there with my dad and my buddy and his dad. They're Vikings fans. We're Lions fans. We didn't sit with them, but they were in the same stadium. And it was at Ford Field. Joey Harrington was the quarterback. I think it was like his third year. And we were down 7 points. About a minute left. Joey gets the ball. Everyone's chanting, Joey, Joey. Leaves a drive. Down the field, just throwing bombs. Scores a touchdown. 1 second left on the clock. Yeah, this is amazing. We're gonna go overtime. We're gonna see if we can win this game out. Rookie center snaps the ball into the dirt. They don't even get the kickoff. Like they don't even get to attempt to kick the ball for the extra point. They lose the game off of a bad snap from a rookie center, Don Mulbach, who's since had a great career with the Lions. But that I'll never forget that fucking play. It will haunt me forever. forever. But there's a million ways we've lost games. Like I got 75 of these stories. We are always on the losing end of it. I was sitting at home watching this game like it's over. We're down 14 or like 11 points. There's three minutes left in the clock. We're down 11. There's no chance we win this game. I was done. I was like, okay, whatever. We can't win them all. It's gonna happen. Like we got our asses kicked today. I don't think we took the Bears seriously. Boom. Goff gets the ball. He had a bad game. 3 interceptions. He had a bad game on Sunday. Boom. Touchdown. Get the ball back. Boom. Touchdown. Then Aiden Hutchinson slaps it out of Justin Fields' hands. They get the safety. This was very much a game that the Lions are always on the other side of it.
For sure. And that's what I was thinking. But you must have been thrilled when they won that.
Oh, I was running.
The problem is, though, against the better team, they probably wouldn't have won that. They were fortunate to be up against on a bad week. They were fortunate to be up against the Bears team who,
Bears should have won that game. Bears 1,000% should have won that game. I thought the game was over going into the fourth quarter. I was like, fuck, this is a bad loss. This is not a good loss for us. But hey, that's why this team is different. That's why these Lions are different than any other Lions team that I've ever been around for. It is very exciting. We've got a big game Thursday, Thanksgiving, like when everyone's listening to this. This is Packers at home, and like it's Thanksgiving. Like people are excited to watch the Lions. People are excited to watch the Lions on Thanksgiving.
Do they give out the turkey leg?
Happens. No,
the morning game. That's only the evening game.
Turkey leg is the Dallas game. The turkey statue, I think, is what they give away in Detroit.
Okay. Now the Friday game, we got the first Amazon Bowl. Does Jeff Bezos come out and give a discount TV to the winning team for the Black Friday game?
That's pretty funny, actually. That's pretty funny. What do you think about that game? Dolphins-Jets.
I think the Dolphins win just because the Jets are just awful right now, and they're hitting a season low. We knew that as of this week, there was going to have to be a change. You hit this point where we can't keep going with Zach Wilson where it's not working. But the Dolphins, they beat the bad teams. They'll lose against the good teams. We don't really have a lot of faith in them. I think the best story on the Dolphins right now is, could Tyreek Hill actually hit 2,000 yards?
I don't know if that's the best story for the Dolphins, but this is a game the Dolphins have to win just in terms of like solidifying that they deserve to be in the playoffs. More importantly, this is a game that the New York Jets have to win if they want Aaron Rodgers to come back and play for them this year.
I think it's a tough win for them.
Are you like it? Oh, it's going to be a
tough win for the Jets.
But also, like, it's not Zach Wilson playing. Tim Doyle's coming in.
Yeah, we don't know anything about this guy, do we?
Nothing about him.
Complete wild card.
Didn't even know he was on the team. What happened to the guy they signed?
Trevor
Siemian. Yeah, what happened to that guy? I thought he was going to be the next guy.
Maybe he's just not making any passes in practice.
But if you're Tim Doyle, you just go out there slinging it, right? Like nothing to lose.
Is he somebody trying to develop himself for the future, or is he trying to make an impact today? Because here's my thought on the matter. If he's trying to make an impact today, he's going to have to take more risky plays to try and win the game. If he knows that, hey, I'm just a kid, I'm just developing, I'm going to get another try after this, right? Just use this to better my understanding of pro-level football, gain some experience, make my mistakes and learn from them, then he could set himself up for a better future. But we don't know who the hell he is. I know nothing about the guy. I didn't know his name until you said it.
He was on the Lions for a little bit.
This is your boy.
Came out of UConn.
He's your boy.
Eastern Kentucky. Undrafted 2018.
A lot of undrafted players.
Packers 2018 to 2020. I believe he got some starting games with the Packers back in the day.
What day was this?
When Rodgers got hurt, they brought in Boyle. Then he went to the Lions, then he went to the Bears, basically just an NFC North guy. And then now he's with the Jets. He's got 3 touchdowns and 9 interceptions career.
Okay.
60% passer completion.
There's a career plug.
Yeah, he's not in
WF wrestling terms, he's a jobber.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Fair enough. I take it back. I think this is Miami's game to just start to try and pull away from the rest of the pack in that division.
You think they just pound the shit out of the Jets? Their defense.
I don't think they pound the shit out of them, but I think they win.
I think they win too. But I think that Boyle throws 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions?
Yep.
That sort of thing?
Yeah, like 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. It's in New York, so everyone is going to be so happy that it's not Zach Wilson starting.
Yeah.
At least they have that going. It's going to be a little bit of a celebration going into that game for them.
Or Breece Hall just has a game.
Oh yeah, I would love that. He's on my fantasy team, so I would love that.
Okay, yeah, selfish.
Very selfish, but also like that you need to get Breece Hall going. That takes all the pressure off Boyle.
So because of the Amazon game, I've got a wild conspiracy. And this one's wilder than my usual wild ones. I've got a thought. People don't seem to like Thursday night football right now. It's kind of at an all-time low, is it not?
Well, the games suck.
The games suck, and there's a lot of injuries. There's
a lot of guys,
top-level talent getting injured regularly. Who has the rights to show the Thursday night game right now? Amazon. I know that Amazon's showing them, right? They show them on Amazon Prime. Not for us, but for other countries, they get them. What if this is Jeff Bezos' way of making the Friday game more popular? He say, "Oh, Thursday is not. People need another day for rest. There's too many injuries." And this is his start. He's already got the TV rights. He's already got a game, and he just pushes to have these Friday games. So he starts getting more of these Friday games.
Do you think that they kind of just cancel the Thursday game and just turn it into a Friday night game?
I don't know. See, I don't see the benefit of that for Bezos because he's got both, but maybe he's got something he likes to do on Thursdays and he wants the Friday game. That's what he wants to push.
A specifically personal motivation. Jeff Bezos does not
like Thursday. When you're at that level, when you're at that financial level, you do these things for personal motivations.
Yeah, you do almost exclusively.
Yeah.
You know what though? What's more interesting about that is I could use a Friday night football game.
So there was always the thing of, Friday nights high school, Saturdays college, Sundays pros. Yeah. So it does kind of conflict with
how many high school games you watch on Friday night?
0. But in other markets, it's a big deal. In smaller towns, the lifeblood of the NFL system, I'd say.
Yeah, like pretty much all American towns have what's called Friday night lights. Essentially, is that all their high school games are Friday nights. I think here in Canada as well.
We just don't have that many football teams. Did you have football in your high school?
Yep, we did. We played Fridays, but we played Fridays at like 3 p.m., like right as school was ending, so that the students could come out of class and go right to the game.
So then you could watch the pro game at night.
You watch pro game at night, but in the States they watch them at night.
Yeah.
So that would. But do you think that the only reason they wouldn't do that is because it would take people wouldn't go watch NFL? They would just rather go to their high school games.
Yeah, I think. But that's also kind of the lifeblood of feeding football is you 100%. Have people invested in the sport at a younger age.
Yeah.
And they grow up obsessed with it from every level.
Yeah.
Children to teens to young adults to the pros to.
I think that would be the only flaw with a Friday night game is that there'd be people in high schools watching live football for their
I just wonder if the players would prefer that extra day.
1,000%. The NFL players would want to play Friday night instead of the Thursday. 1,000%. But I think that there's something to be. No, they would. I would think that I'm not a player. Never have been. I'm currently an NFL free agent. As are you.
Oh yeah.
And that's on my resume.
I'm ready to go.
Since I was 19, 3 years out of high school, I was ready to go. Still haven't got a call, but hey, I am an NFL free agent. You're an NFL free agent. Most people listening to this are NFL free agents. Now,
can we sign up for the combine, or how does that work?
I wasn't invited. You got to be invited.
You have to be invited, eh? You can't try and get on some sort of lottery pick, like a green card lottery.
No.
You
got to be invited. But I wasn't. Hey, some guys that haven't been invited, they're in the NFL. So it's not over.
Undrafted player.
It's the same. You run into me, I will tell you I'm an NFL undrafted free agent.
We're both standing about 5'8".
It's not a lie.
170 pounds. I don't think we're making the pros here.
I would have said 5'9" for the listeners, but that's fine. That's fine. It would be nice to have at this age, 38. It'd be nice to watch football Friday night as well. I'm so excited about this week. We got Thursday games. So Thursday, let's just get into it. Thursday, Lions, Packers, 9:30 a.m. Cowboys, Commanders, blowout game, right? Cowboys are going to destroy them probably.
I don't think they'll destroy them. I think it'll be tighter. I think the Cowboys win.
I would like to see Sam Howell do well. It'd be cool to see him.
I think he's one of the biggest surprises as QB. I didn't realize he quietly is leading most receiving throwing yards, passing yards this year.
He doesn't care if he throws interceptions. He's just slinging it as far and as many times as he can.
Jameson Winston made a career out of that philosophy.
Yeah, he's going to make another one this weekend. We'll get to that. But this is the game. Seahawks 49ers. This is the game that is probably going to be the best game. I'm as a Lions fan, I would love to see a blowout. I would love to see them blow out the Packers. I don't want it to be close. Let's embarrass those fucking guys.
Sure.
Cowboys, Commanders. I think the Cowboys are 10.5 point favorites. I think that they're going to blow that out as well. But Seahawks 49ers, I'm very much rooting for the Seahawks. And it's not because I'm in a notorious Seattle fan base, but it's because I don't like the 49ers because of Sam Purdy. I would like to see Geno
Brock
Smith.
Purdy. You've never got a player's first name right. You got Greg Kittle. You got Sam Purdy.
Bruce Staley.
Yeah. Some of these West Coast teams, you just don't know the names.
You're not wrong. I would like to see the Seahawks come back and make up for that loss.
Hey, Brock Purdy had a good week.
Yeah, he's almost perfect. He was 21 for 25, 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, almost.
Listen,
perfect.
When they're winning, he's good. When they need him to make plays, he is not good.
I still think he's on track to be a great player.
No, oh my God. No, he is not. The minute that this team can't afford to keep everybody, Brock Purdy's career goes in the dumpster.
If you put him on the Jets right now, you don't think the Jets would be fighting for a playoff spot in that division?
Trash. He's better than Zach Wilson.
Everybody's better than Wilson.
But he's not like doesn't make them a better team that much.
I beg to differ.
Brock Purdy is a product of his environment. That is the best way to describe Brock Purdy. He is a product of his environment. I will stand by this until he wins the Super Bowl.
So if Mac Jones was there, he'd be doing better?
Yes. If Mac Jones is on San Francisco,
for the rest of the season, you're Mac Jones, I'm Brock Purdy. Those are our guys.
No, because the teams are different. Mac Jones probably never going to play another game after this weekend.
So you shouldn't have backed him from the beginning.
I backed him.
You got to pick a winner.
Hypothetically.
Pick a winner, brother.
If he played for the 49ers, he would be better than Brock Purdy. That's my statement.
49ers were smart enough not to draft him.
What do you mean? How can you say they were smart enough not to draft him when they drafted Trey Lance and then shipped him away for a 6th round pick? Higher than Mac Jones was drafted.
Forgot about Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Are we ever going to see him play?
Maybe when Dak Prescott retires.
I think Dak's there for another couple of years.
I think Dak's there for a while, 3 or 4 years. Maybe what happens is not this year because I think the Cowboys are on a very good path. But maybe one of your Dak gets hurt for a couple of games. Trey Lance comes in, lights it up. And then in the offseason, he gets one of those like Tyrod Taylor type deals. So like, come here, see what you can do. And then if you can do it, we'll keep it. If you can't do it, prove it deal. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I think is the future of Trey Lance. A lot of people forget about him. Disappeared quickly because of this Brock Purdy kid.
Well, he didn't play that much. Played 6 games?
Yeah, he kept
getting
hurt. Kept getting hurt. Do you want to get into the games this week? We just started.
Then what about the conspiracy of the week? We didn't even dive into the conspiracy of the week. It's a week one.
You kind of went with the Amazon Bowl one, but this is okay. I see your conspiracy. Now you got a bunch of conspiracy for us.
Well, I've been kind of slacking the last few weeks, so I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel for them. This one's a bad one because I know this. Me and my wild conspiracies know that this isn't going to happen. But if it did, the storyline would just be too good. There's a lot of backups on decent teams playing at the QB position. What if this is all just so they can bring Tom Brady back so he can pick which team he wants to take to the Super Bowl to try and get number 8?
Okay. I'm with you. Now, why hasn't he signed on? He also came out and said there's a lot of mediocre people in the league right now.
Oh, yeah. So that's just building up the hype of like, he's calling everybody out. People say, well, why don't you strap him up? Why don't you lace him up again, Tom? He's like, you know what? I will. I'll come show you kids how it's done. But he's not wrong. There is a lot of mediocrity in the league right now in terms of quarterbacks and offensive schemes.
Where would you go?
Obviously kind of
If you-
going in the other direction. They're getting more and more exciting. That combo of Tank Dell, great football name, and CJ
Tank Dell
Stroud.
is-
That is an
Yeah.
exciting combo.
Oh
They're
yeah, those guys
finally
are awesome.
clicking. They got good chemistry.
They're gonna have a great career together. Those guys are awesome. And the same with like Nico Hollins, I think is the other guy they got on the other side.
Yeah.
Nico Collins. Hollins?
Yes, he's one of the receivers. Yeah.
Yeah. He's also great. They're gonna I love CJ Stroud. I love Tank Dell. Awesome football name. But if you're Tom Brady, where would you go? What team would you want to be like, I can take this team to the Super Bowl?
Bengals,
Yeah.
Browns.
Yeah. Either of them.
There's more.
If I'm
Raiders.
him-
Well, Raiders probably aren't going to the playoffs.
No, probably not.
There's
There's
almost like it's almost most teams.
Vikings.
Vikings, yeah.
Like they do have Dobbs, but still Vikings, you could argue that he could be a fit there. Jets, he could be a fit there.
Yeah.
Steelers, he could go there.
There's a ton of teams that could upgrade the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why
Colts,
I
he could
don't
go to the
think
Colts.
there's any sort of legitimacy to this is because he'd be coming in so late, be rusty. It'd take too long to get the rust off.
He's the greatest of all time. There's no rust when it comes to him. There's no rust when it comes to him. But
I'd
there's
love for it to happen, though. I would absolutely
I would love for.
to see
I
that.
think the Bengals would be the best fit for him because of their offensive weapons and they have a run game. So he could go to Cleveland, yes, but you don't have a run game as strong as Joe Mixon because your best run Chubb is still not out for the year. And your top wide receiver is Amari Cooper, who's not bad. Amari Cooper is a great wide receiver, but you got three good ones. You have Jamar Chase, who's top 5 maybe, and then you got Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins. Like
But
you
how's
could throw
their-
the ball to anybody.
How's their offensive line? Because he's going somewhere with a strong offensive line.
Browns
He's
offensive
not going
line is
anywhere with a
super.
weak offensive line. And I
No.
think that would be the issue with the Jets. I don't think the Jets have a very
That's why Aaron Rodgers shouldn't come back. He will die back there. He will die back there.
Yeah.
And so Joe Flacco went to the Browns.
yes.
So
That's confirmed. I know he had,
Yeah,
he
that's
had a
confirmed.
workout. He had
Yep.
a workout for them.
that's confirmed. Colt McCoy is still out there. Matt Ryan is still out there. He could come back. He said he wanted to come back.
I don't think he's coming back.
He says
I
he
think-
wanted to.
I think he said he didn't want to. I think he said he's comfortable where he is.
He's not
got the
retired. He
broad-
hasn't officially retired.
He's got the broadcast gig, and he's just
Ah,
he's
If
good.
if the Bengals call, maybe he should go back. Just go there.
Maybe. I like how we got deeper and more into this topic, the most outrageous conspiracy than we did of anything with legitimacy in the
Yeah,
program.
it's not even really a conspiracy. It's just something that could happen.
Yeah, but I doubt it. Anyway, yeah, let's get into the game. Let's get into the games. Let's get into the games. So there was a couple good games of the week. Nothing with a crazy storyline that stood out, but I like this Jacksonville-Houston matchup.
That's exactly where I was. So
I think this
the
has
game of the week?
excitement written all over it.
Is that the game of the week?
That's my game of the week.
It's okay. So it's in Houston. We know CJ Stroud's like super awesome to watch play football. It seems like Calvin Ridley and Trevor Lawrence have figured this out because they 2 touchdown passes connected to each other last weekend. And it's in Houston. Jacksonville's favorite to win by 2. This is a divisional rivalry game. Both of them are in a playoff spot. This is a great pick for game of the week. 10 a.m. Sunday.
So I haven't seen Trevor Lawrence go off on a game yet this week. No, sorry, this season.
This season, yeah, he's
a bit due. One thing I
average
think he
to above
has
average.
over Houston is when the run game in Jacksonville is on, it's on. It's
Yeah.
better than the Houston run game.
I agree.
We've seen Algiers kind of take the game into his own hands and just
Algiers.
run through everything.
Travis Etienne.
ATN.
Yeah, Algiers Falcons backup running back.
Right. Sorry.
No,
Etienne,
but
yeah.
no, ATN is a special player, and when he goes, then it opens up the offense for them completely, especially in the pass game. Now they put up 34 against the Titans last week.
See, if I fuck up a guy's name, I at least completely fuck it up. I don't
Yeah,
just
you
get
just
half
say
of it
it
right.
wrong.
I get
Yeah.
the complete
Hey,
wrong.
The
name.
whole point is at least we're correcting each other, so not everyone thinks we look like assholes.
Yeah.
Anyways, Ridley 103 yards, 2 touchdowns last week. Trevor Lawrence 2 passing touchdowns. Now it's he was 24 for 32, 262 yards, 2 touchdowns. I also hope that the Jaguars are starting to find that stride. You want to get hot going into December. And I'm hoping that the Jaguars are doing just that. They're exciting. But man, this is a great game because we're kind of getting soft spot for the Texans here with CJ Stroud.
Yeah, it's hard not to. When there's a young kid who comes in and does everything right, he's exciting. He's got a good attitude. He's a good leader, and he plays entertaining football. Yeah. It's hard not to like him.
Yeah.
He's given nobody a reason not to like him.
Easy game of the week. I like that. Now, you usually do a bad team game of the week. What's that?
Well, I've done it once before. For the bad team game of the week.
It's very simple. I'm already looking at it.
What do you got here?
Giants, Patriots.
Right.
There's no way that's an exciting game. DeVito versus Mac Jones. Maybe
Tommy
Mac
DeVito.
Jones. Hey, Tommy DeVito played well. He played well last weekend.
He did. He played great.
3 touchdowns.
Does he still live with his parents?
He has more touchdowns
Italian
than Kenny.
family. His mom's making him chicken parm subs and stuff and baked ziti.
Yeah.
Is he one of these like New Jersey kids?
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lives at home. He drives to the I know nothing about him except for that. His parents were at the game.
He can't be getting paid much. He's got to be getting less than Brock Purdy.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I read somewhere that he either has more multi-touchdown passing games than Kenny Pickett, or he just has more touchdown passes than Kenny Pickett.
Both. I'm going with he's got both.
Yeah.
Not more career, just because I think Kenny Pickett's played way more games than him career.
Yeah. Well,
but this season.
This season. That says something bad about Kenny Pickett.
Well, you got the change that everybody asked for. We'll see what he does.
Prove it now. Now you have to prove it, or else you're the problematic person.
Deontay Johnson, I know he's missed a bunch of games. He's not, he was supposed to be their wide receiver.
Yeah, he's not really
nothing crazy. George Pickens makes big catches, but he's a bit inconsistent. His attitude doesn't seem like he's fully on board.
Doesn't seem like he wants to be there. Doesn't seem like he wants to be there.
What do they got? They got Allen Robinson. Is he still there?
Who knows? He's a nobody now if he is.
Yeah.
He's nobody now if he is. There's another good game this week, though, speaking of Steelers, is they have to, both these teams, Steelers, Bengals, are fighting for their lives. Now, they both are kind of look like they're sliding down a slippery slope, but should be on paper, you look at this game like, oh, this is an important game, but it could be bad. It could be a very sloppy, bad game.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a finesse game of just threading passes.
No. Well, there's
just dicing up the field for the
first John Browning. What's Jake Browning versus Kenny Pickett?
Jake Browning, who knows? He just hasn't had the pleasure to play much because
you can't
when you're back up to a guy who's guaranteed to start.
Yeah. So I mean, again, they're both in playoff spots, but they're both. Allen Robinson still is getting 3 receptions, 20 yards last game. No, whoever loses this game kind of goes down that slippery slope, I think, out of the playoffs.
Yeah. So I've got one game which I've taken, which I'll get your opinion on. I'll tell you my picks real quick. I got Cowboys over Commanders, Browns over the Broncos, which I already mentioned. I'm taking the Panthers over the Titans right now. I think the Panthers are due for a win. I think their coach is on the hot seat.
He's very much on the hot seat.
I don't know if he'll finish the season. Might just let him finish out the season just because it's like whatever, the season's kind of lost. And then just get rid of him for next year. But
they got nobody on the team, though. I feel bad for Bryce Young because he's got nobody else on that team.
No. He managed to beat CJ Stroud.
Yeah, he did. I hope he does well. I very much root for Bryce Young. It's just he just needs another year under. They need more talent is what needs to happen there. So you think Panthers over Titans? Okay,
that's what I'm taking.
Okay.
I think Titans are also kind of folding it up this year too.
Yeah, they're not doing so well.
No.
I have in Atlanta, the Falcons are 1-point favorites against the Saints. I have the Saints in this game. Probably Jameis Winston's going to start, and he just
Derek Carr's injured or what?
Yeah, he's in concussion protocol. He's still in it right now. He has lots of time to come out of it. But it seems like it might be a Jameis Winston type of weekend. But either one, it could be Winston, it could be Carr, it could even be Taysom Hill starting at quarterback. I think that the Saints win this weekend.
Michael Thomas playing?
No, he's just four
4 games.
IR, 4 games IR, injured reserve.
Okay.
As always getting hurt. That guy is predominantly always hurt. What's your next game?
I took all 3 of mine. Cowboys over the Commanders, Browns over the Broncos, Panthers over the Titans.
Okay. I've got Broncos beating the Browns. I'm going to go opposite of you on that one. At home in Denver.
You want to go championship of the show for that?
Yeah.
I'm leading right now.
You're 1-0. Champion of the show, I got Broncos over the Browns for the championship of the show.
What are the odds on that? You got the odds on that game?
Yeah, Broncos are favored to win by 2.5. They're at home. So you always get 3 points for being just at home. So technically the Browns are 1 point or 0.5 favorites if there was no home field advantage.
Yeah.
But unfortunately there is for you, and it's Denver, 2.5 favorites. I think Broncos
are so hot right now.
It's so hot right now. So hot. And then my last game, I got Colts. They are 2.5 point favorites over the Buccaneers at home. I think Colts win this game coming off a bye week.
You got to fill in your picks on this sheet here. You don't.
Well, I just wing it. I wing it all the time. You're the guy you're the filler.
How am I supposed to keep track of your running total? I got to re-listen to the podcast every week to see because I'm never paying attention when you're talking now. I could type them in, but I'm never paying attention. I don't know what the fuck you're saying.
Is that why you always wait like 5 seconds before you respond?
Oh, I zone out.
That's not good for the show.
I'm always thinking about how I can interrupt.
Yeah, I know.
Make
I
it about
see
me.
it in your eyes. Yeah.
But I learned that from you.
I will write down my picks right now just to make you happy. I got Colts.
Thank you.
I got, what was the other one? I don't even remember what it was.
You got the Broncos.
Broncos.
Yeah.
Those are my picks this week. You didn't write yours? Oh, yeah, you did write yours down.
I did.
I
prepped everything this week.
Anything left that you want to say? I want to say Michigan, Ohio State this weekend, Saturday, 9 a.m. That is going to be a huge game. I will miss hockey because of that game. I won't lie about it. Oh, yeah. Well, they changed the fucking schedule. We were supposed to play Sunday at 3, which I was going to go to.
Why don't you record the game?
No, this is the biggest game of the year.
So is our game.
No, it's not.
This is the highest division of hockey you've played in the last ever of your life.
They keep bumping us up. We keep winning. They keep bumping us up.
Yeah. And you want to bail on that?
Yeah. We're talking.
You can record the game.
State.
Nobody at
Michigan,
hockey.
Ohio State.
Nobody at hockey is going to spoil that game for you.
Cannot record it. Won't do it to myself.
Why?
Biggest game of the year. Biggest rivalry in the history of sports.
I can tell you this. Michigan State's players would come out to their own games rather than go watch a different game.
Michigan State's players would, but this is Michigan.
Oh.
Yeah. Fuck that up. You fucked that up.
Is your boy Harbaugh going to be there?
No, he's not allowed.
Still not allowed, eh?
Not allowed. This is the last game he'll miss. Unless like they have to make they have to win this game to get into the playoffs.
Someone brought up a good point about that he's not proven guilty yet, but they've administered all the punitive actions prior to him being found guilty. So what happens if he's not guilty?
Well, they found the school guilty, and they're just choosing to punish him because he's in charge of the program.
I see.
So like technically he's not guilty, but he knew about what was happening, so he's the one who they're going to go after.
Right.
So instead of prolonging it and then missing potentially a playoff game, just get it over with now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. We will be back next week. Enjoy if you're in the States listening, which I doubt you are. But if you are, happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, if you're a fan of Formula One, then I've got the perfect podcast for you. The Pit Stop Podcast, presented by the Ordinary Podcasting Network. After every single race of the Formula One schedule, Jordan and Tyler will break it down, give you some news, analysis, insight, before answering your questions and setting you up for the next race. That's the Pit Stop Podcast, available everywhere you get your podcasts.
Running Down the Clock is brought to you by the Ordinary Podcast Network and is every Thursday running until the week after the Super Bowl. We hope you enjoyed enough to subscribe and tune in again next week.